what were your struggles, some of the struggles you had before starting this program and coming on board?
Yeah, so I guess before starting this program, I was kind of in a very deep funk where I was having difficulties finding joy in my life, finding productivity, and kind of letting fear hold me back from doing the things that I wanted to do. So I kind of would just be stuck to my bed. Also, this was during the pandemic as well, so there wasn't really much I could do anyways, but I was kind of just glued to my bed and kind of sulking and having a pity party for myself, having low confidence in myself with my looks, my personality, and just feeling trapped and an outcast in my environment in Berlin. I also kind of found it difficult to make friends and just kind of be present during social interactions or just interactions during work. So I was always desperately, or I was kind of always thinking about having a trainer, or that was always a goal of mine, but I never knew that there would be such a program where it would kind of tackle not just the working out aspect of it, but also like mindset and nutrition, which especially for queer people, which I found really helpful and a blessing to have found.
Amazing, buddy, amazing. We're gonna dive into that in a second, right? But so you share like that feeling trapped and like the insecurities of looks and social life and all that. Can you share a little bit, teeny bit about that? Just what's going on there for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I think a big chunk of it was that I was in a relationship where I wasn't really getting my needs fulfilled, or I wasn't receiving so much affection from my partner, which I also kind of codependently relied on mostly. Like I didn't really establish a life of my own outside of him since I moved to Berlin. So I think not having any clarity of how our relationship was going, or even feeling like I was sexy to my partner, kind of made me believe that I wasn't good enough for anyone else. Or and also for a while I've kind of struggled with my Asian identity, just based on the representation that Asians have had like for such a long time, that there's like I've always wanted to be a figure that could represent Asians in a non-stereotypical way, but there's just some moments where I kind of feel like, oh, like especially in Europe, that if I'm Asian or for someone other than European, then I'm not classified as someone that's naturally or standardly beautiful.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. I hear you. And what was that? I know you shared as well about that insecurity to take your top off, right? That before.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I growing up, my mother would always just call me fat, or just would always kind of scrutinize me for being on the bigger side or the size of my face. And so I think that was something that had always just lingered in me, and I wasn't really ever confident to go take my top off at a beach or any location where there's water involved. I would usually be the person that was like sitting on the side watching everyone else have fun, and just for the sake of me not showing myself.
Yeah. And what would you say were some of your doubts or potential skepticism before coming on board and starting this?
Honestly, like the biggest thing that intimidated me before joining was just the cost of the program, just because I had never invested in myself like this before. So I was mostly worried about just making sure that I could make it all worth it for myself. And knowing that I'd commit and pay this amount meant that I would have to just stay fully committed. And I think just commitment, kind of scared me, and I started getting doubts about my own performance and my strong will, if I'd be able to kind of persevere through it.
Hey, absolutely. So let's dive into the exciting part, right? So what were some of the changes or successes that you've made now that because you've been part of the Gym Fan for a little while now. So yeah, what are some of those things that you've achieved since?
Yeah, I think so far in the program, I think I've learned that if I really want something, I will go for it and
Yeah.
do it. I've learned to get through many certain fears and to be able to get out of my comfort zone, to do things such as working out at a gym or working out in public, like outdoors, or even meeting friends or asking someone out on a date or for plans, or even directing my subjects during shoots at my job.
Mhm.
And I think just the more and more I practice doing these things that have caused me to feel so uncomfortable, the more I notice, the more comfortable I get, and how it
Yeah.
starts to feel a bit more natural for me.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think I've gained a lot of confidence in myself as well as my appearance from
Mhm.
just my whole journey with just like working out and finding the joy of that. And I also no longer feel uncomfortable taking my shirt off as I'm
Yeah.
happier with my body. Although I haven't fully reached my body goals yet, I am happier with what I have currently managed to create for myself. And I know that I'm fully capable of reaching those goals, as I've already seen the improvements and changes already.
Mhm.
I think I've also learned how to manage my stress a bit better, and
Mhm.
learn how to not be so critical and hard on myself. I think it's important to just try to make the most of everything and enjoy life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, so you stepped outside of your comfort zone, right? So go to the gym, do that, and you created the body now, like all those successes from that. What about other things? Like I know you mentioned with the work side, or now if you're happy talking about the relationship side, I don't know what you're. If you can share whatever's good for you, but what are some of those things that you've seen because you tackle those fears and build that confidence?
Yeah, for work, I guess I've really learned how to set boundaries, which has actually helped me gain a lot of respect from my colleagues, and
Mhm.
they know that I'm standing up for myself, so they're not going to put me in any situations where it
Yeah.
sort of seems like they're taking advantage of me, which is
Mhm.
good. So I feel like I have more control in my role and what I want to accomplish and the types of jobs that I want to do, just for me being more clear and communicative towards everyone, which before I was kind of too scared to speak up and say
Yeah.
my piece.
Mhm.
Um, and also, I mean, I still do get a bit nervous, like from time to time during shoots. I think that
Mhm.
won't ever go away, but I've learned to just kind of do certain strategies to like ease that discomfort, which is before shooting or anything, just forming a connection with those around me
Mhm.
beforehand and just introducing myself and getting to know people a bit better so that it's not just like work, like no, it's not person, like to make sure that it's personable essentially,
Yeah.
so that people feel more comfortable.
Mhm.
And that's been going like really well for
Mhm.
me. Um, and then I guess, yeah, I guess relationship wise, like I managed to find a new partner throughout all of this and have experienced so many things that I haven't experienced in a relationship. And it, like, for example, like, I don't know, dancing with my partner, which is something
Uh-huh.
that I
Wow, I
couldn't
didn't know that.
even,
I love this.
yeah, or just, I don't know, like to, like, kind of taking more initiative on plans, which is something that I never really did in relationships. I kind of was the one that always wanted to be taken care of and didn't have to do anything. But now I find I feel more confident when I kind of decide on things or do things that I haven't done before.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Loving that, Julian. Loving that. Leading your life, buddy. Leading your life. Just super proud of you, super happy for you. And what would you say in terms of who would you recommend to take part in the program?